The A-Plus
What's up?
hieroglyphics. This is episode 8 of Talking Crazy with our man A-Plus. My name is Tamal. And this is our monthly build. This is episode 8. I always get the numbers wrong. This is episode 8 of a monthly conversation between two friends about mental health stuff. Just real talk, you know what I'm saying? And just candid conversations. And I think you would agree it's something that's pretty necessary for, especially in this day and time.
Absolutely, I agree. I love doing the build here with you, my brother. I think breaking down the whole stigma of the talk of mental health in our community, the hip hop community, the minority community, and people just in general. I know it, like we always say, it's become trendy for like people to talk about mental health, and I think that's a dope trend. So I mean, you know, as somebody who believes we all deal with mental health in one way or another, and sees how much small thinking and bad information about it has stymied like our progression in that area, I think these talks are great. I enjoy having them with you, my brother.
Yeah, no, it's been dope. Been a learning experience for both of us. And quick disclaimer: we are not doctors. We're not. We're just two friends. We're sharing our experiences. We're getting up there in age, and maybe we have some things, experiences that can help people. But we're also here to learn and build and grow. So
Yeah,
it's a family affair. So
yeah.
it's not us telling you what to do.
Never that. We're always here to learn, and our approach is always like we always like to say, take what you want, and leave the rest.
That's it.
We're just here talking about like our own personal experiences, and again, we're here to learn. I'm just trying to figure things out my damn self. So I find myself a student every day in life, man. Just trying to master life itself makes you a student every day. So we're not here to tell anybody anything. We're here to learn and share, and anybody who gets something from it, like that's where the blessing is for us,
Absolutely.
for me, for us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talking about it helps, man. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out, this is kind of a structured conversation. So questions and comments are welcome, but just try to keep them, related to what we're discussing. So then it can, be more beneficial for everybody, actually. And so if you use the questions featured below, big up Erica. If you use the questions below, we can pull that up and everybody can see those. So rather than just putting them in the chat.
Also, you could check out Carrying the Culture if you want to get one of these teas.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, you can. Stand up. Stand back up. Stand back up.
Yeah.
Stand back up. There we go. There we go.
And also, got the Artifacts hat. Shout out my man L. Shout out Tang.
Our new Artifacts album dropping in a couple of days. So
little pub for the folks, man. We support each other, man. So
no doubt, man.
What's good, my brother?
So we're getting into fear tonight, and the topic that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and there's it has a lot of like variations in it. It's negative and positive and this and that, but so I wanted to get into that, and because especially as men, for us being men, it's not something that's discussed a lot, hardly at all.
At all.
Right.
What?
So
fear. Fuck is that?
Right. So let's just start there with the I guess the when you think of fear, or when it's used in like everyday language, what's the connotation that comes to your mind, or whatever? I mean, it's usually something like negative.
Yeah, definitely. Growing up in whether it was like growing up in a black household, whether it was growing up in Jamaican household, whether it was growing up in East Oakland, just where it's a lot of dumb shit just happening, and you just learn a lot of dumb shit. Fear has always been something that was presented to me. I mean, unless it was, my father having discussions with me about fear. In general, fear was like something that's was definitely a negative thing. Like it is a weakness. You're supposed to stand up and be tough, and don't never like it was never fear. Fear never had like a basic meaning, like it's a thing. It was more like a boogeyman type thing, like leave that shit alone.
Right.
Like it was never just a real thing, which it really is. It's just a thing that everybody has, right? But it was never really presented as that growing up, not in my community and surroundings,
Right.
My father had a different take on it, but I'm just talking in general, just where most of the information comes from. Fear was like, oh, well, fuck that fear shit. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It's like something that that doesn't even really exist, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, What you mean you're afraid or like fuck you? Like I get looks sometimes. Like what do you mean? Like you know what I'm saying? So and when in fact it's a very real thing that we all deal with, whether we want to admit it or not, right? So
Yeah, it's wired into us like from our origins as instinctual animals. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
right. And there's a lyric that sticks out for me. It's from the Keep It Hip Hop, the Most Def joint with Dina Green, Crosstown Beef. And the hook is crosstown beef be like crosstown traffic. Brothers be on some real shit. Every man gets scared when prepared for confrontation. Like, like that's just when you about to get banged. I don't give a fuck. Like who is yo? Like there's some adrenaline. I mean, you're not just. I don't know nobody that's just 100%.
I mean, even if, but see, the whole thing about it is, even if you get a natural fear or in a rush of adrenaline, there's ways to deal with it that ain't scary. That ain't like, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean you didn't have fear. It happened, you know, and that's where the big denial comes in about it. It's like, oh, I ain't scared, but that motherfucker may have learned how to deal with not being scared. Yeah, people who aren't scared of anything at all, like really, literally, them the type of motherfuckers that could just walk in the street, get hit by shit, like you know, jump off of cliffs, like. I mean, they don't last. They don't live long.
I was
You know
gonna
what
say
I'm
that's not
saying?
necessarily a healthy thing, though, right?
It's that's what I'm getting at. Like having like animals evolve over time. The ones that reacted off that fear the right way are the ones that evolved to survive. You know. And again, I don't like to talk about all of this stuff like I'm a scientist or anything. Again, this is just me just talking. I don't, you know, if you happen to know some scientific facts, don't act like I'm trying to say like I know better than that, but please share them, you know. But this is just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's just
Someone
how
said
I feel about it.
someone said fear is embedded in us at birth. It's a defense mechanism. However, the powers that be have learned the science of it in order to control us. I mean, there's two parts there. I mean, I we can maybe get into that other second part a little bit later, but you know, as far as control and stuff, I'm looking at this fear that's basically that we all deal with on a daily basis, you know, or just in general when things come up or whatever. And to me, only a foolish person is not fearful at all of anything. That means like that's foolish to me. You know what I'm saying?
It
I think I don't think personally. I mean, I don't think that if you're like, I'm just not scared, I don't give a fuck. That's reckless to me, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
100% agree. Yeah, that's this is the same thing. It's like it's not very wise. It's foolish to not be aware of threats and to have some kind of sense or intuition or knowledge to know how to spot them. You know,
Right.
like you know, like I said, you remember for instance, it's like the dodo bird is a good example. It's like this beautiful bird that couldn't fly or whatever. It looked kind of weird, but you know, I think animals are beautiful and shit. You know, life is beautiful in its own way. But anyway, you know, I guess the settlers or whatever kind of travelers that came and found the dodo birds. I don't know the exact geographical location, so you know, don't get on my helmet. But the birds wasn't scared to run away. They would just
Right.
stand by the humans, and so humans just killed them all ultimately and they called them dodo birds because they were like, they see all their homies getting slaughtered, and they wouldn't trip because they didn't have any fear mechanism that scared them that made them afraid of the humans. So that's just a little analogy for something that has absolutely zero no fear in a world that's mad, kind of violent and chaotic and you know, harmful and rough. You know, you're not gonna last very long without first having that. Of course, I mean, it's something you just have, but first learning how to deal with them somehow, and recognizing them. And whether you call them fears or not, they actually really just they happen. That's
Right.
the whole thing about semantics and stuff, and people's egos and stuff. Like I ain't never scared. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm not scared.
You know.
You know,
Yeah.
yo, but I wanna go back to the to what we were saying earlier though about because I just realized I'm 46 years old and this is the first time I'm ever discussing this topic with another male ever or anybody like in depth. Well, I shouldn't
Yeah.
say first. I shouldn't say the first time. I've been in some workshops and seminars, but I mean like this cat. Like okay, we're gonna talk about this. Two friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's like built in us not to like even fuck with this, like acknowledge it, yo. And like I think over the years, I'm looking at my past. I'm like, damn, I probably made some dumbass decisions because I wasn't honest about the fact that I was afraid to do something.
I mean, I hear you on that, man. It's like I haven't really like the times I've talked about it, like you know, with just friends or homies over time. It's always been like, oh, I ain't scared. It'd be like, and I know some people that are literally the most scariest people that really be fronting like they're not scared of at all, but literally I happen to know that they're very fearful, but they'll be the first ones talking like, oh, that's that you letting your fears get to you and shit. Like, I'm like, I know for a fact that you shaking your boots about shit, but it's just one of those things that we're taught in the culture of being a man and being a black man or a person of color in America for sure. Like, you gotta like deal with that fear a little differently, or like don't or don't recognize it really.
Don't yeah,
don't
like it doesn't
don't acknowledge that shit. And I mean, it leads to horrible shit. I mean, look what happened. Look around. Look at our hoods and shit. Motherfuckers ain't scared at all, right? Motherfuckers ain't shooting each other up, but ain't scared of nothing and shit, right? It's crazy.
Right. And the thing is, man, like it's ingrained us to not think about it, and so it's like, and we've talked about like in a few of our conversations about breaking the cycle. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, I've done that to connect to myself to a part to not be scared. I've been like, fuck that, I ain't scared myself. I ain't scared. Like, but it's literally to confront some shit that So I'm saying, I say that to say I'm guilty of the stuff that we talking about. I'm not over here like on no pedestal talking about like, like, oh, I ain't never scared. I'm saying literally, I've had to be like, fuck that shit, I ain't scared. Let's do this shit.
oh,
like,
of course, yeah, that's why.
But and I recognize that as a mistake. I'm not saying that like that's some fly shit. I'm saying that's not a cool way to go about things, man. That's you know what I'm saying. That's like, yeah.
Right. I mean, no one is half the battle, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, I think just recognizing it, like, I mean, yeah, we've done. That's why we can, we talk about this shit because it's still, we might. The thing is, man, we're having these conversations, and I'm grateful that we're aware of, like, we're trying to grow and stuff. But there's times when we might have a talk or something, and I might go exhibit the same behavior that we just talked about, like the next day. I mean, we're not perfect. Like, and then I catch myself, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, so
that's what's so dope about conversing about it, having these conversations, having these builds, man. Because like I swear, for me, it's a part of the healing, a part of the unlearning, a part of the like, as you get older and try to get more wise about shit. If you get to be here at this time, you try to like look at the things you do wrong and tighten them up and get better. And these conversations help me with, I mean, like you said, talking about this shit is mad helpful to me as a person who in this world, who deals with who deals with this world just as much as anybody else, and have my own issues with mental health and all, and just like, past things in my head and shit. Like, this is constructive to talk about it. Like,
right.
Because again, this is a theme that comes up a lot in our talks, man. But like, we as a culture, and as a people, we have gotten a lot of bad information. Not to say this is in no way counters the fact that we've learned a lot and have made great strides, but continuing with bad information, it does not help us in any way, and it hurts all the progress that we do make. So that's why these conversations are so important to me personally. Like, I literally get something from this shit. I'm like an empath in this world. This stuff is just mad serious to me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's good to talk about this stuff.
No, it's definitely good. And it's like, what we're trying to do is like, we're trying to undo our conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's parental bullshit, family bullshit, societal, social, economic, we're trying to undo that shit. Like, it's like old rotary phones, old phones with the long telephone cords, they get all tangled up. We trying to like get that shit undone. You know what I'm saying? So it's a process, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I've seen names like, someone drinking like a kale smoothie, all of a sudden they're like, the most woke person type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
this ain't like, that.
We have one conversation and then it's a wrap. You know what I mean? This is the test is like, all this shit. Like, how are we when we're out in public and we're dealing with this shit? You know what I'm saying? And things are happening. that's when we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where we kind of, it's kind of the litmus test, like, you know, where we are with a lot of this shit.
Absolutely. And the goal is like, not to sound cliche, but all the real shit is cliche, it seems. It's like the goal is to be better today than I was yesterday. And
Just a
when you
little
get at
bit.
it just a little bit, and that entails dealing with one's fears and talking about the things that we don't talk about that are there. And we, trying to deal with the hypocrite himself. You know what I'm saying? Like I have these aspirations to not do certain things so I have these aspirations to be a better person, and I have to not do certain things or do certain things better for that to be true. And here we are,
Right. No, and
Yeah.
that's a very good point. Yeah, I wanted to get into like some of the different types of fear because that like there's so many different kinds, like, as far as like fear of like physical or emotional harm, right? Um, and then I was thinking, we just did a bill recently on worry and regret. Fear is directly tied to worry. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I mean, on that point, I firmly believe this. I think we talked about this before, and I've said it many times in my life. It's just something I learned it somewhere, and I believe it. All of the negative shits, every last one of them, are all under the umbrella of fear. I believe fear is like the top. It's what do you call it? The capstone. It's like the top of the fucking shit. Everything that I would consider. I don't want to be all super semantic with it, but all the not cool shit, emotional and things. All of that shit is under the umbrella of fear to me. I think conquering one's fears and dealing with one's fears is the main applicable solution to dealing with any of the other shit in one's life or in one's brain, psyche, and whatever.
Yeah, no, I've definitely heard that a lot, and I certainly agree with that as well, from it's based on my experience as well. And yeah, dealing with that, because I was just thinking about anger. I mean, not a lot of times, how often are we really really mad? A lot of times we're hurt or fearful or afraid or something, so we we act out. A lot of things are done spurred, spontaneously and stuff out of anger, but it's a lot of times fear is the trigger of that shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I believe every single thing, man. Every single thing. I think somebody just they're all triggered by fear. All of them. Somebody just one of the comments was anxiety and panic attacks are a culmination of all stashed up I ain't scared moments coming out. That's Architect 7 said that. I 100% agree. I think all of those things all are under fear. That's why it's so crazy that but eye opening or brow raising, that fear is the one thing that we're taught to be like, oh fuck that, be a man, don't deal with that fear, you're not scared. And literally all of our issues are that we would have lie under the blanket of under the umbrella of fear. It's not a coincidence. And that's how you could, if you could you really want to control a person, you manage what they're scared of and how they react to it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's hard to admit, though, right? Like a lot of this shit that we've been talking about, man. And again, we always say it requires a lot of honesty, right? Looking in the mirror, shit. So to sit there and say, I'm just trying to like play devil's advocate and why we don't do it. To sit there and say, okay, I'm really upset because I'm afraid this is, I'm afraid this is going to happen or this, or, yeah, fear of success, fear. That's a crusher. We're going to talk about that in a
Yeah.
little bit because fear,
Oh my
because
goodness.
it's a paralyzing thing, right? So I'm just saying to sit there and say like, for somebody to sit there and have that awareness, that's the thing, man. Like that takes a fucking serious gut check, right? And a lot of times those are really, really scary. You know what I mean? Like to do it. And so I think that's what holds people back a lot of times, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, 100%. Like,
fear of even like looking at themselves. What are you gonna find? Right? When you peel away the fucking onion, what are you gonna see? Are you gonna like yourself then? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Man, I literally, like, me personally, all of my issues that I deal with in life are all based off of some kind of fear I need to get over or conquer. Like all of them. Like, I don't consider myself like walking around shivery type person. I'm saying all in my own mind, like all of the little issues. And this is the thing: when you say fear, people like it immediately think soft or whatever, and all of that. Like I really think all of the problems are are rooted in being afraid of something. Like for instance, how you said worrying, and we did a show about worrying. That is a fear of a future that it hasn't happened yet, and it's an irrational fear. But worrying in itself is a fear. You know, my sister said was the one who typed the fear of success.
Success.
Fear is a big one. People are like not being accountable is a fear of responsibility.
Right.
But a person who's not being accountable wouldn't consider themselves having a fear.
No.
Like
no.
You know what I'm saying? But in the reality,
they're too busy shifting the blame on somebody else.
Yeah, well, yeah, lack of accountability. But that's crazy. That is a fear. You know, if we're really dealing with it, if we're really talking some real shit, that is a fear. That is a fear.
Of course it is. Yeah, yeah. And the fear of that's getting into that, man. It's a paralyzing thing. The fear of success, like people, and the fear of responsibility. Both of those are huge. I mean, look, my father dipped out on me because of the fear of responsibility. He told me like we broke it down and we had some words on it, like that. You see that all the time with people just ducking out on stuff. Like I've had so many people that have worked with us with carrying the culture that were like gung ho, and then it was time to actually do some work, and they fucking in the wind. You know what I mean? Or like you said, fear of success. So many people are coulda, shoulda, woulda, and that's one thing I can't do with my life, man. Like coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's like try it. Like all they can do.
Just
try it again.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. Like nobody gets shit right the first time, hardly.
It literally is the main source and cause of that paralysis by analysis. That's a fear right there, and then ties in right into the fear of success that you were just talking about. And again, what I'm really trying to bring to that is that like these are all things that like are literally fears, and we're like raised to be like, oh, you're not scared, you're not fearful of nothing. So in essence, it feeds into our own being unaccountable for things, or not being responsible for things, like by not recognizing our fears. And this is shit that we're taught like on the playground, on the schoolyard, and by the basketball coach, by the counselor at school that pulls the black dude to the side and knows what you're going through. Don't be scared of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just bombarded with don't have fear, when literally dealing with the fears that we all fucking have is really the way to deal with all the solutions to everything. And again, strictly opinion. Like I ain't no doctor, but you know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, this is stuff I learned in therapy and shit, and like in the program and shit. Like you know, like I'm spending a lifetime trying not to be scared of shit instead of just like facing shit. You know,
I'm gonna say this though. Like this is important too. We're not doctors, and we try to make a point to say that like we're not trying to tell people what to do. But at the same time, I'm gonna say that may speak for both of us. We're speaking from a place of experience and not just pulling shit out of our ass. So that's very important. That it's like there's some background to what we're saying. And, like you said, take what you want, leave the rest. But we're pulling from different things or whatever. But it's not like we're just So I just want to say that because like we wouldn't be here trying to share anything if we didn't think it was valuable or valid. So, but do whatever the fuck you want, of course. In the end, I mean, you're gonna do it. We're all adults. But I wanted to put that out there because what you just said is 100% accurate. I don't give a fuck if you're a doctor or not. Like that's just facts, my nigga. You know what I mean? And some some shit is just what it is, and whether people that's
thank you for saying that, man. Because like I got just a natural compulsion to throw the disclaimer on it just because of the nature of motherfuckers, man, and trying to semantic a motherfucker out and all the loophole words. Like, I'm just talking, man. I talk. I just be on some real talk shit.
Right.
I've never been one for the games, and that was me just even throwing the disclaimer on it is a built-in thing to deal with people, a fear of motherfuckers coming with that semantic shit. Just
right. They can eat a dick because we say the disclaimer at the beginning of the show, and again there is some fucking experience here, so it's not like again I'm just looking on the fucking Google today and we're gonna talk about some shit. I mean, like we're talking from experience and people can obviously relate. So it's like that's important too because So fuck the disclaimer. We get it. We say it off the rip, man. So you know what I mean. That's what it is. And real people know, and the other ones, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Fuck. So anyway, but I wanted to get that up. So, but you're right, yo. Like, there's so many different emotions that are really fears, and we're not calling them that. We call them this. Call them something else. Disguised into some other shit. But
and that's how you have a society that normalizes mad fuckery behavior. If there's a whole lot of like not dealing with shit, and a whole bunch of people not dealing with their fears, and you know we got social media out here like making people more fearful about shit and self-conscious and ego tapping and all this shit. So I mean it's hard pressed to find people that are just truly accountable for their shit. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I am, but I literally strive to be. I really do. It's something I strive to be personally, like literally, you know, because I don't know, it just feels like a realer way to live. But it's a trip. We, you know, when you know, people like Trump end up president, shit, you know, like it's crazy. And Biden, you know, same shit.
All of them. Yeah, I mean, fucking.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, and back to this part about like, because I wrote this down here. It was like that. It's, you know, back to that the paralyzing nature of it, man, as far as like stopping us. I mean, I've seen people like literally throw away like awesome opportunities because they were just afraid of not even failing because they've gotten the opportunity, but just afraid of like change, maybe. I don't know. There's a big fear too of being afraid of change. But so it's such a paralyzing thing sometimes, man. Like that we're like I've seen people like frozen in their fucking tracks, like and afraid, and that's sad when I see that, man. You know, personally.
Man, I know people that like literally their knee-jerk quick response to being held accountable to somebody holding them accountable for something that may not have went totally right that they were responsible for. Immediate reaction is attack. Like hair trigger, like, well, what the fuck did you do? Da, 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 da. Instead, and like, just don't have it in them to just be like, that's 100% my responsibility. That's me. That's a fear. That's 100% a fear. And then the bravado of the attack is supposed to show lack of fear culturally and how we're raised by gender or by race and all of that stuff. It's like, so if you could fend off this attack, it doesn't matter whether if you can't fend off this attack, then that trumps whether I was being not accountable for the shit that I'm attacking you for. It's just a weird ass world, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird ass world, and the kind of behavior that it's really, you know, it becomes a challenge and really a personal quest to fix yourself in a place to where, you know, ain't much shit that's going to be there to really nurture helping with any of these things when they're all being placated. You know what I mean? When this behavior is being normalized and placated. So.
Right. And it going back to it though, man, like, because you keep, you know, you're discussing the, you know, people not taking responsibility, accountability. All of this again requires us to be honest with ourselves. Every conversation that we've had, this is episode 8. This, you know, and these are conversations. I mean, there's not a lot of people in here. I mean, these conversations aren't like, you don't have these at the dinner table these are like real. This is when you roll up your sleeves and you try to do the work on yourself, man. And so that in the end, we got to be honest with ourselves about this stuff. And to me, that's the first step. And like, just even trying to grow, man. Like, damn, I'm kind of fucked up. Let me see what's going on here. Like, all right, that, you know, like, and just really assessing the situation. But we don't really. That's so hard for a lot of us to do, right?
It is. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, and for everybody different. I mean, a lot of our fears come from trauma of life growing up. You know what I'm saying? You know, like another thing we always bring up, like a lot of people's mental health issues happen during the formative stage of your life. It's the information you were taught and learned. Ways you may have been treated not well, like, you know, not having all your parents there to give all the side. You know, there's a bunch of different reasons why people end up being full-grown adults with fears that we don't really have any tools to know how to fix. You know, I find it myself, like doing introspection and doing all the heavy lifting in my own life. is a tremendous job, dude. It's like it's really all what life is about, really. For you know what I'm saying, but for me, but it's like it takes a lot trying to fix yourself. You know, it really
Right.
does,
Right.
man. And
Yep.
and it really takes help too. You know, people
Yep.
need help. I could have never even started my own personal quest
Right.
without support and help. You know?
Of course. So I'm gonna go off the cuff here, man. There's most of the people. Seems like the people that are in this build are we're all kind of gelling here and vibing on this particular topic, and everyone seems to feel like it's an important topic. So I'm gonna go off the cuff and try to put all of us in the spot, ourselves, both of us, and
Okay.
ask everybody, even in the comments, to share something that you're fearful about. And
Oh wow.
you don't have to, huh?
I said, oh wow.
Yeah, so you don't have to. I'll start it off this week. Got me kind of like talking. So I'll start it off. And if you care to share, hey, you can go. And if anyone wants to share in there, but as I shared earlier, my daughter's about to enter high school, and like I'm like fucked up, like just fucked up because I don't know where 10 to 14. The 4 years between 10 and 14 went. I don't know where they went. She's like 9 feet tall, gargantuan bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? She'll slap the shit out of you. Like, I mean, like, she grew up quick. And like, I'm like, yo, where's my girl at? You know what I mean? And like, for whatever reason, it's got me like this fucked up. Like just can't like, and I guess it's like also as a parent, did she listen to what I was sharing over the years for her to get to high school? Like, how's she gonna manage it? Is it gonna be some? Don't want it to be no Stranger Things high school type shit. You know what I mean? Like, so that's me. So people said, look, salute everybody that they're sharing fearful. I want to acknowledge fearful of
There's
failure.
a few in here.
Spiders, buying a house.
Big
up Illa G. Buying a house. Spiders.
Spiders. That's a big one for me. That's my sister, by the way. We both have that. I could tell you why me and my sister had that fear. At least I could tell my side of the story of why me and my sister had a fear of spiders, right? So this is just a trippy little story, and this is a big irrational fear that I know I have. We both have. I might have more than her, but we moved to Denver when I was like around. We moved back to Denver when I was around 5. We lived there for like only about like 6 months. But my dad and my mom had got this house, and it had a basement. It was a small house, man, and it had a basement. And one of the jobs that me and my sister had was like cleaning out the basement or helping to clean out the basement. And that shit had mad spiders in it, like dummy amounts of spiders in it. And so we just literally just killed all the spiders that was down there. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, after we killed so many spiders, and I was 5 years old at the time, right? We killed so many that after that, I developed a fear for them because I think it was like a guilt from killing so many spiders, bro. And I was just like a 5-year-old kid. And then ever since, I was never scared of spiders before that, and I've been scared of spiders ever since then.
So you're like legit scared of them, like.
Well, nah, if I see one, I'm vacuuming the thing up. I'm not letting it post up around so it can bite me and stuff. I might leave the daddy long legs that kill the mosquitoes and things, but I might see any of them chunky ones or the ones that come out and bite you when you're sleeping. It's going in the vacuum. Or if I'm somewhere at at my girl house, I'll kill it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't let it live. And I really should, with my heart of hearts, I really should just let it live. You know what I'm saying? And let it just be what it is. Unless it's like a black widow that could come kill me or some shit. I don't know. I'm not gonna try and rationalize this shit, but yeah, I'm not gonna jump on and squeal like somebody jumping, like a person scared of a mouse and jump on the table. But I'm like, oh hell no, you know what I'm saying? Or if there's one in the tub when I'm getting in the shower, I'm like, oh hell no, just going down the drain immediately. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like them things, bro. I just don't like them. But I realize that it's an irrational fear. But anyway, I didn't mean to take us on a tangent. It's just that when my sister said spiders, that's a me and her story that happened. But she was there too. She might have she's an older sister. She might have a different view of how that happened. But I remember she massacred.
She said it was a true story.
Oh, word up. Okay. I mean, we
So
killed a lot of spiders, dude, and we made that basement immaculate. But when I thought about it later, I was like, oh, that was kind of fucked up, dude. Like, we just like, how many did we kill? You know. But anyway,
it was a straight assassination. Y'all went on a genocide.
for real. And we was just doing what you know. For me, it was just kid work. What the
No, of
parents said
course.
that what Pop said to do. I'm not gonna put that on moms, but anyway,
I mean, I used
still
to
crazy.
torture them shit, yo. I mean, I would let them like go down the toilet a little bit, flush it, and then like not let them drown, and then let them crawl up the side, then flush it.
Well,
I did that.
I don't feel so bad now. Thank you, brother. You always
So
find a way to make me feel better about
there's levels to everything.
shit. My brother.
So I
You know,
wanted to,
somebody said buying a house.
I wanted to go into the fear of failure, man. I mean, I
Fear
think
of
that's an
failure.
important one, like because that's one that's paralyzing, and that's one I think architects said it. That's one family that will stop you in your tracks, and you'll never know. Like, that's the thing. Like, the biggest fear for me is like, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like when I'm older and I can't move and I can't. What did? Oh, I should have tried this. I should have done this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this project. Why didn't I do it? I wanted to have this taco truck in fucking Maui. Like whatever. Like, why didn't I try? And the thing is, man, for me, the fear of failure, I'll say this personally, is low for me because I've changed my focus, and it's not about succeeding. It's about the journey itself, and it's about just the mere fact that I'm trying. That makes me feel good. The fact that I'm trying to start multiple businesses, they may all fuck up, but I'm trying. I'm trying to better my situation. So I know that when I'm punching that clock every day, this ain't all there is. I'm not the Al Bundy nigga. So it's like this is not all there is. There's more to it. So I can know, okay, I'm going home, I'm gonna work on this shit, I'm working on this bill, this, that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, the analogy I use is when I'm in traffic, I get off the exit and I dip around, I take the back roads and I dip because I'm still going somewhere rather than just sitting there. So it's for me, I took the focus off of the end goal and said, I don't know if I'm gonna succeed or fail. That's not up to me. But I know that like I feel great trying to do this shit. I feel great trying to start businesses. I feel great trying to have 4 or 5 shows and build and do this and this and that and try to, you know what I'm saying, better my situation. So then I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like, if it happens, it happens. But this is better than just not doing shit for me. And that's the conclusion I came to. You know what I mean?
Man, it took, man, I agree with you 100%, my brother, and it took me a long time to get to that point. Like, because I'm like solution and goal and oriented and project oriented, you know,
Right.
like I'm
I
mostly
am
high
too with
charge.
certain things.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah, and I'm like overload on that shit. So like if I have like a task that I've agreed to do, and it has, and I've only agreed because I believe it's feasible. That's the only way I'll agree to do anything. If I believe in my heart that I can do it, and I won't rest until that shit is done. You know what I'm saying? And that's been kind of how I've been motivated about shit. So it took me a while till later in life to be like, you know, that became like a means to do something, but the fulfillment wasn't the same in that until I realized that what you just said is that it's actually the road and the journey, man. That is really was the source of the fulfillment. I just wasn't wise enough or just didn't know yet or whatever. And I've since, you know, in this portion of my life, have become more involved in the actual journey as opposed to like, because you know that question of success or failure is always in your head, like or can be in your head when you're like my whole thing is like, I'm not gonna not do this. I said I'm gonna do this, so I'm not gonna not do that. So that'll be a pressure all the time. So in a subliminal kind of way or some kind of mental way, it's thinking about failure and not wanting to fail, even though that's not where my mindset is. It's literally that's what it is. So when I started realizing that it's more about the journey and the process of it, it took that aspect of it away, and it made those moments in life more fruitful and more fulfilling. So I say that to say I agree with what you said, man, 100%.
Yeah, it's been a really it's taken a weight off my shoulders looking at it that way. You know what I'm saying? And I've been able to like learn a lot on the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm getting challenged and I'm having obstacles and I'm bouncing back and I'm going forward and shit's getting fucked up and it's getting better. So, you know, it's been eye opening and it's been teaching me stuff and it'll make the end go that much sweeter or not. But it's still been all good. Like it's like it was like if you walk with your head down, like you're like in the forest or you're somewhere, you might not even notice that the trees are beautiful and the leaves and the flowers and the birds and stuff, like, because you're just, so that's it's been helpful for me. You know what I mean? To kind of look at it like that. So then therefore I'm not worried about, oh, what if I don't get it? What if you don't get it? My dad used to tell me when I was younger, like as far as like just dating, like I'll never forget, he'd be like, did you ask her out or whatever? And I'd be like, nah, whatever. He was like, why not? He was like, all she can say is no. That's it. Like, sometimes somebody, no, okay. Well.
Yeah, well, that goes into the fear of rejection. I remember when I learned about the whole little rule about the fear of rejection. It was like kind of like around like junior high school. It had to do with like talking to girls and stuff. I can't remember who told me, and they were like, dude, if you only try to holler at a girl just once, and you get disenchanted by your no, you definitely will never get through to anybody. But like I think it was like an older dude. It's like, you might have to talk to like 10 girls, and 9 of them say no, and you got to be okay with that. But the one that says gives you some rhythm might want to talk to you, young buck. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that solidified in my head because it was a logical concept. I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, if you just try once and don't do it, no girl's gonna talk to you. But anyway, you just reminded me of a childhood lesson that some OG taught me. It's like, dude, you gotta holler. You gotta not have a fear of rejection.
Right. I mean, and like, as far as success, I mean, I remember Spectre Dex. I just watched an interview with him. He was saying, someone asked him like, "What's your biggest success?" And he was like, "Well, that's all relative. Like for you, it might be having cars and this and that. For me, somebody else might be something else. So it's all relative. Like in baseball, you're super dope if you're only making contact 30% of the time. Like if you hit 300, you're like super fucking ill. Like 30%. Like, so it's relative, man. It's you know what I'm saying? And like people compare each other when they go work out and shit like that. Like me lifting like bench pressing some shit, my weight ain't gonna be the same as like motherfucking some big bumpy knuckles, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like shit is all relative. We got that goes into like comparing ourselves to other people and stuff too.
Wasn't it? It was somebody. I think it might have been Jordan, or some basketball star. I think it was Jordan. He said, "I missed more shots than I made by far." You know what I'm saying? So like, and Kobe, that's like Kobe's arguably one of the greatest. So. If you miss more than you made, that has to say something about your mentality with being okay with bricking. You know what I'm saying? And how it's bricking failure.
Like my nigga, like Brett Favre is he was like the touchdown leader and the interception leader, like at the same time.
Word up. Oh man, hey, somebody said my sister said Kobe said it.
Yeah, he said that.
Architect said
No, I was just saying, Kobe was jacking up mad shots, man. You know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook obviously don't give a fuck either. So
you gotta take your shot, man. But somebody said fear of them police sirens. That's a whole fear. That's a whole ass fear. Like when I see a police car pull behind me, or even like in the vicinity, my body actually reacts, bro. Like just from a lifetime of dealing with the motherfuckers, bro. Like, and I'm not even like a gangster or criminal or none of that shit. Just a regular guy. And I've fucked with them enough to where my body instantly starts doing shit as soon as I see them boys.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'd be mad.
Crazy. That'll be a fear I want to conquer. How do you conquer that shit? Because it'd be millionaire motherfuckers that still be like, that'll still get pulled over and harassed, and you know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna conquer that shit because the shit's still going on. So when the shit stops, then maybe we'll conquer it. But yo, I get my stomach starts to hurt. Like,
oh yeah, I get that knot right here.
Even if I ain't dirty, like I might not even have no weed and whatever on me, like, and I'll be like, yo, I be thinking I got like 20 bundles on me, like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I live a legitimate life. I don't even do shit illegal for mad long. You know what I'm saying? And I get spooked like I'm carrying. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a trip. That's something we uniquely share. as a you know,
Yeah.
POC out in this thing.
Yeah,
But
nah,
anyway,
nah. That's a real motherfucking fear, though. We can't just brush
hey,
that off.
I like this dude, Architect Seven. He said that's their fear of us.
Yeah,
When you break it down, that's kind of what it you know, that's where that's all built off of, kind of. Well, that's a whole nother that's another show, right?
yeah, that's another show. We write it down. Yo, but before we, because I was wrapping up soon, I do, and we try to be solution based. Typically, as far as wrapping things up, like, what do you do? What do you do to, I shared kind of like what I do to at least deal with like the fear of failure. I mean, what do you do to like handle fears? Like you said, it's normal. So like, what are some things you do to try to, handle shit?
Well, for me, like my biggest issues with that kind of stuff is anxiety, right? I have anxiety, and I deal with that. I've been dealing with that my whole life, and being man, that's how come we partners, bro. And I'm not drinking no more. Like I remember, I literally my drinking was to deal with anxiety. It really helps, you know what I'm saying, till it don't. You know what I'm saying? But the whole reason people with anxiety get to drinking is because it really calms anxiety, which is mad dreadful. You know what I mean? So as a sober person, uh that still deals with anxiety, which is a fear-based thing. I'm 100% sure of it myself. I do breathing shit. I do health is a thing. Like, like making sure I'm on my vitamins, I'm eating healthy. I'm not environment is a thing. Like who I'm around, like who I'm place myself around it's tantamount. It's so important because I could be around homies, man, and they could really be my homie, but like they just cause me anxiety, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't be around them. So that's that. But that's how I did. Like my biggest fear is like the fears I get when I get anxiety, and it's really once it goes away, it's irrational and it wasn't real, but it's a body thing. It places in your body where it affects and stuff. So CBD is mad good for that. Like THC is good for it to a degree. I mean, people are different. I have a good tolerance, so I'm cool. Exercise. I go to the gym. I run it like I hit the elliptical. That thing is mad good for is a good for anxiety for me. Just all of those little type of it's basically it's life things that like just things I put in life habits that I put
Yeah,
into my life
self
that
care.
and yeah, self-care and it's internal as much as it is where I place myself, what environments I put myself in, who I'm around, how I deal with the people who are around me. Also, microdosing, them shrooms, man, that's a great thing for facing one's fears and and lowering anxiety when done correctly. I microdose and stuff. I don't really get too wigged out too much anymore. Taking enough, but everybody got their different. My man. Everybody has their things. Those are some of the things that I do for my particular fears. And yeah, how about you, my brother?
Yeah, I appreciated hearing all that because it reminded me of some things that I used to do that I don't really do as much anymore. As far as all that stuff is self care, man, and that's getting ahead of the game. It's being preemptive and being proactive rather than reactive. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting ahead of the game, and then also you're recognizing your triggers and stuff like that, and then kind of knowing what to do after. So I just wanted to highlight that just those things you mentioned, man, like the health, the sleep. I mean,
Sleep. Oh, sleep. Yeah, that's a big thing, bro. Like,
sleep
yeah.
is a big one. But for me, I think a big part of it is about me is being honest, yo. Just honest, right? Like just gut checks all the time. Like, come on, nigga, like the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you know what it is. Like, because I always say, man, we know what it is, man. When we peel it all away, 9 times out of 10, we know the answer to something. Like whether we act on that or not is a different story, but we know what to do a lot of times, man. And so we know what it is, and we know right from wrong. We know, man. And sometimes we want to front like we we say my took a seminar called "The Lies We Tell Ourselves." We don't lie to ourselves all the time. So for me, it's about being My biggest thing is just trying to be honest, man. Like as far as like if I'm honest, then I can deal with the fear. Like I can look at it. I can look at a situation and say, okay, am I upset? Why am I upset? I can get hot headed sometimes. So with all of these things, it's like because I'm fearful. I'm fearful of like what I do when I get hot. Like the tongue is sharp, yo. I will make people cry, and that's not good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fearful of like my own self and my own actions a lot of times. So my thing is just like, yo, just trying to stay on point, trying to be honest with myself about like what it is, and trying to, you know what I mean, trying to move accordingly. And then I feel like a lot of shit falls into place when I'm keeping it a buck with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that's just, you know, that's me.
That's something we talk about a lot on here. That honest conversation with self. It always comes back to that with mental health. And I 100% agree. And it's a mission. It's when I'm on. Here go the dog. Hey, Roxy. Yeah, it's a mission. It's a lifelong mission. You know, but
There you go,
it's
big sis. Being transparent takes the power away from the fear. Word up.
yeah,
Word up.
yeah.
So
Yeah, man. It's a mission. It's tough, man. But when you find yourself at a point to where like this, you know, it becomes what life is about.
right,
You know,
right.
and that ties right into all of the things that are important, like who you love, your family, your kids, your legacy. And I don't mean like outward legacy. I just mean you know, what your life meant to other people,
Right.
and how you affected them. I'm not even talking like on big wide scales or
Yeah.
being like A+ or nothing like that. I'm talking about like just whoever in your life that you may have had a positive impact on. And you know the people I've had negative impacts on, man, and the things like them things that drive me to be a better person. You know, so like you
Yeah.
said, it's like the honest conversation would say that's something I would have to eat myself. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And so yeah, this is just me agreeing with you, brother.
We
Same
gotta.
here.
Oh, so we're gonna wrap it up. But I wanna, before we do, first of all, I want to thank everybody that was in this build. This to me, this was like a really powerful thing. Like this time, man. Like just on some, just as far as like participation and everything, and just like just people vibing. And I just think that was just dope. So I just wanted to acknowledge everybody in here and appreciate y'all, man. This will be up on the on both of our YouTubes. So if people see.
Yeah.
But that,
Definitely,
I just wanted
man.
to thank everybody.
I definitely thank everybody. This was man involved. Again, like we say on the outset, you know, we're here to share our experiences and talk, but just as much to like learn and take from others, and because it actually is literally helpful like to me personally as a person, and I know to my brother as well. It's literally helpful. It's like therapy in a sense, you know. Like I don't want to. That's another taboo ass word that has all kind of connotations to it,
Yeah.
man. But so that's just my part of saying thanks the same way as you, Tamal.
Yeah, and so we're gonna get this up on on the YouTube. All of our past conversations up there. So if you haven't seen them, all previous 7 episodes are on both of our channels.
This
Carrying
is
Torch,
episode 8.
episode 8
We're
right
here.
here. So
I love doing this with you, brother. You know what I'm saying? This came about mad organically. We're gonna keep the link lit. We keep
yeah,
them
of
coming,
course.
and the positive response from people, and you know, people hitting us like, you know, like it's helping somehow. It really that means something.
Yeah, of course.
That means something if anybody could get anything from this, because like I know how I feel from what I get from it, and
Yes.
it really is a sense of a sense of, I don't know what the right word is. It's like it means something. It's meaningful. It's helpful. It's a tangible empathy. I don't know the right way to say it, but it's definitely a positive thing. And I'm thankful for doing these and for doing these with you, and from the people that that rock with us, that have been rocking with us.
Absolutely. And so, real quick, unfortunately, I wanted to get out there for Hiro Day, but I won't be able to. So,
Oh
just
man.
like, yeah, I was talking, I don't even talk about it, but
Well, yeah, I hear you.
but
You know,
you know
God
how it
willing,
is.
this next year, brother. Here we go.
Oh
We
yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
yeah. So
So, but I want to catch up after Hiro Day. I want to catch up with you and build on some stuff. I know you're gonna be tired before that, but so after that, I want to build on some stuff regarding this joint. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Erica. I told you I was coming out. Yeah, and I told they have people. Shit, I shouldn't have said that just now. Should have called you and told you. Anyway, so yeah, I want to catch up with you after that. So, but again,
my good brother, all days.
absolutely. So again, thanks everybody. We're gonna get this up. I'm gonna save this before Instagram cuts it because that's what they do to me on the reg. So, They're killing
Yeah,
me.
they did that. They did that in the last episode. We had to come and do it over, man. So I'm with you on that. Salute, my brother.
All right, salute y'all. Everybody, peace. Good talking to you as always, man. I'll talk to y'all. Have
Talking
a good
crazy.
Talking
Talking
Crazy,
crazy.
episode 8 in the books. Peace.